and welcome to our day one technically, of the ESA's 2020 Student Highlights event. And today we're going to be talking with, me and Callie Ofield, our incoming chair. And we're going to hear her talk about what she does, what she's interested in, and her goals as the incoming chair of the student section for the 2020 to 2021 terms, just so I don't forget. All right, Callie, I'm going to have you introduce yourself and talk about your interests, and then we can go from there.
Okay. Hello, my name is Callie Oldfield. I am a PhD candidate at the University of Georgia. My dissertation work is focusing on the effects of wind disturbance and salvage logging on forest carbon pools and plant composition and regeneration. So I do a lot of field work. I'm a field ecologist. I measure trees. I dig in the dirt. I carry around a super heavy Core 6400, which is a field a lot. But I'm wrapping that up. This is my last year. And I'm also interested in teaching, mentoring. I make botanical illustrations on the side. So those are all things that I enjoy.
Um, yeah, thanks, Callie. And I know you did your entire presentation with your illustrations, and that was quite honestly like one of the coolest things I've seen for this conference so far. So yeah, if you wanna, I don't know if you can comment in the chat, just put in like your, the link to your meeting so that everybody can go and check it out, because I recommend it wholeheartedly. It is super cool, and I have seen like a lot of pieces of your digital art as well, and they're super cool too. So put your like meeting information in and your like social media handle so everybody can see it, and I will make sure I put that in the event and post it in places after we finish the live so that everybody knows who you are and where to find you. Um,
Awesome.
awesome. Let me know when you're done so we can, start the next one.
Oh yeah, we can just, my hashtag is just my name. So at Callie Oldfield on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook. So
yep. All right, let's have you now talk about your goals for the student section as chair, incoming chair for the next term. Let's hear you, and I'm super excited, I know, for having you as our chair. So let's hear what you have to say.
yeah, I'm excited. So first of all, I want to say that the student section is a really great opportunity to get involved if you're a student. So you should totally consider running for a council representative position or a board position. The board consists of a vice chair, or a chair, a vice chair, which runs for 2 years. So you're a vice chair for 1 year and you become the chair the next year. A secretary, a social media coordinator, a treasurer. So we're a great group. And ESA lets us be very autonomous. So we get to control all of our finances. We get to control what we decide to do, what programs we fund. So it's really great opportunity. And also you can really network a lot and make a difference in students' lives, really. So, but okay, I have some things scribbled down. We'll see. I'll try to turn this into coherent thoughts. But essentially, my goals for this year are to increase our visibility, to develop more engagement and educational materials, to continue to amplify the voices of diverse students, and also to leverage our ESA sections. And I'll go into each of those a little bit. So in terms of visibility, we have our social media, and I want to grow our social media, grow our following in order to be able to amplify students better. So, the more follows we have, the more student research can actually really get out to a large following. And, students are looking for graduate programs, we can amplify their voices. So one thing we've been doing the last few years are student highlights. We want to continue doing that, essentially where students in a section will send us a little blurb about research they're doing, a photo. That's really great content for us. We love to see it. We also will highlight papers that students have published recently. I think not as much of that has been going on the last year, but we're going to definitely be asking for that a lot this year, and we want that type of information. In terms of engagement and education, Ajisha has been doing this super amazing, wonderful job running these webinars. We want to take a little bit of the pressure off of Ajisha's back if she continues with us next year. But to have each board member select maybe a monthly webinar that they want to run, that they're really interested in, with the feedback of the students on the student section. So if there are topics you're really interested interested in, things you want to learn, we can really help make those connections and develop a really cool webinar with, grad students, professors, outside academia people, and so forth. So something like a monthly webinar that's really geared towards providing information for students or benefits for students in some way. And that'll be like, again, spread across the collective back of the student section governing board. And so continuing to amplify diverse voices. So we consider diversity in most of our programs. So we have a travel grant program. We have the Trailblazing Awards. We care very much about diverse populations and underrepresented, or groups that are underrepresented in science. So I want to engage more with SEEDS. So SEEDS students are students, and so they're part of the student section. So I want to get them more involved with us, and continue to build our travel grant program. So one of the real strong points that have come out of this online conference is that the online conference is awesome. So we had 20% conference attendees being international, and that's the highest number they've ever had. Of course, that's due to accessibility. So now people are able to be online and they're able to engage with the conference, and it sounds like ESA is going to continue doing that. So every year we're going to have a more strong online component if we ever have in-person meetings again. But so continuing to provide grants to international students to attend the online conference is really important to me. And then finally, leveraging ESA sections. So I think that the student section is really cool, and that we're one of the few kind of transient sections. So the idea is that you join, you're a student, maybe you're a high school student, an undergrad, grad student. The goal with the student section is to help provide the networking, the career opportunities for you to become that early career researcher, which is another section, which is also, I would say, transient. And then really disperse, into the professional community of science, not necessarily doing only science, but there's so many things you can do as a science degree. So really taking into account the fact that we're transient and that we're really the bridge to help provide you those experiences, those tools, those networks. Let me see what else. So leveraging the ESA sections, I'd love to work more with the early career section, the inclusive ecology section, really interface with some sections to make some cool events or cool webinars. So that's an idea. Oh, and also SEEDS. So those are the main things I had to say, but if you have any questions or ideas, I would love to hear them.
Yeah, thank you, Callie. That is a lot, and thank you so much for mentioning the webinar series. Because next, what I'm going to do is just talk about what we've done in social media for the past year, the new, because I have a lot of statistics that I pulled up. It was just really cool, and new ventures. So while we wait for questions, let me just get started on that. So hi, I am Ajisha Alwin, if you didn't know that already. I am the social media coordinator, webmaster, and marketing officer. That is a mouthful and also a lot of work. And now I'm going to be talking more about what we've been doing with social media this past year. I want to say that we've done a great jump in outreach with our social media this past year, and a lot of our Instagram account gained about 200 followers in the past year, and a lot of them recently when we started advertising the annual meeting. And that's something that's really important that I want to put out. And also we started updating and being more active in our Facebook, creating more events, highlighting more people, and definitely if I get reelected to this position, I want to continue doing it. I want to make it more broader and reach a lot of more target audience. And since Callie mentioned the webinar series, I'm going to talk about that in a bit more detail, where that came from, what our future plans are for those series, and how we can get connected and all that stuff in a bit. So with our Facebook, we definitely have reached so much of a bigger audience this time. So the way that I try to get a larger audience is by following other groups that focus on ecology. So there's the British Ecological Society, Canadian Society. So there's so many international groups that I've reached out to in the past year just to make sure that our events are reaching an international audience. And a lot of times in our webinars we get quite a bit of international participants actually, and they all jump in from our Facebook. So that's been another thing that's been going on, and that's been a really good outreach. And Twitter, as you guys all know, we're pretty active on Twitter. I try to retweet any student highlights that we have. And that's our way to like kind of reach out to people and make sure we get more content, as well as highlighting our students and the work that they're doing. And again, I am hoping we reach the 2K mark by the end of this meeting, but we are currently at I think 1.8K right now. So, and with the rate that we're getting followers from this meeting, pretty sure 2K is not that much of a jump. So that said, let me now go into our webinar series. So the webinar is something that I was thinking would be super helpful, because I've seen a lot of other organizations come up with them, because we're all staying at home, we're using Zoom all day. So I was like, why not do a webinar to kind of reach out to students who would want resources? And being a graduate student who is now going through my PhD application cycle, I was thinking like, there's so many people out there affected, and I myself know so many friends that have just not been able to do their research. They've been so affected by this pandemic, and I was like, why not have a place where they can talk about it, and why not have a place where they can look for opportunities and resources, because we are the student section and we serve a very, very diverse community, and we have a voice that we want to make sure reaches everybody, and resources. So that's where I came up with the title. So I was gonna say the where the name came from, the unconventional graduate journey, is honestly my PhD application cycle has been like application process has been so unconventional in the past couple years that it literally can be titled a series of unfortunate events. But so that's where I didn't want to make that a webinar title, so I ended up having unconventional graduate journey instead. But at the same time, I learned so much new things through the webinar, and so many new resources that I didn't have, and I would have much appreciated when I was doing my first cycle. I had no idea how PhD interviews were going to be done, because I came from community college. I went 2 years for community college. Third year, very fast tracked with clinical psychology and cognitive sciences. That was not what I wanted to do for grad school. That was something I wanted to try out if I would want to go to med school in the future. So I was pretty undecided back then. So I was like, I would have appreciated this resources and this network at that time. So that's where that came from. So we have 3 webinars completed in the unconventional graduate journey. The first one is me, Callie, and Dizette, our secretary, talking about the application process. We give you a lot of tips and comments on how to like do your personal statement, your CV, highlighting everything, and what kind of resources you should approach during this time, and particularly reaching out to PIs, because that is a really hard thing to do. As a lot of you would probably know already, because sending an email and connecting with people, not all of us are social and really confident in ourselves. So do check out that video. All these videos are gonna be on YouTube. That's another thing we did with social media, and I thought that was a fantastic idea, because why do I have to upload all these videos on different platforms? Because it takes a lot of time. So why not just make it public for everybody who would be interested in the section and interested in ecology to view these resources? Because a lot of the times, ecology is like the most diverse science there is. So a lot of the things that we put out as resources are not only applicable to people interested in ecology, but also other subject areas. Because grad school applications, most of the process is common for all of the programs. So everybody could be interested in these resources. So everything's on YouTube. I think, Callie, do you have the YouTube link that you can put in the chat, like for our channel?
Let me see.
So we have that, and then we started another series with Gisette McLean, our secretary, called school during lockdown, an international perspective. So essentially, we gather a panel of students from all over the world, have them talk about their experiences and changes that they're having in their programs, and we're going to be touching on a lot of topics in the future. We did one. It is yet to be posted on our YouTube channel, because it was last week and the meeting started, so I did not have time to post that, but that is another series that we're starting up. Again, I am super open to suggestions about topics we could possibly cover, guest speakers we could get on there. And speaking of guest speakers, we did one with Dr. Ramos talking about graduate school opportunities during the lockdown. He gave so many amazing tips, and those are uploaded as videos already on YouTube, so please do check it out, because that is some treasure trove of resources that you will, and also all of our speakers, they'll all put on our website. So if you want to reach out to them with any questions, definitely do so. Their email, their contact information, everything will be on our website. So again, our website is esa.org/students. Let me put that there right now. I think I can do that. esa.org/students. And definitely check out our website because all of our events, our upcoming events, everything will be on there. And those applications for the board members, that's also going to be on there. So definitely do go to our website and check it out. Callie, can you see my comment?
No, I don't see it.
The
I
ESA.
do want to talk a little bit more on some of these comments. I see your comment now.
All right, cool.
So someone said that they like trying to connect with Seeds more. So I want to highlight the fact that we have several Seeds alumni on the student section board, including Ajisha.
Yes! Hi! So wait, Callie, are you not one?
No, but I am mentoring.
Yes, we're all part of the Seeds family.
Right Yeah. So we have tons of Seeds family on the board. But yeah, I do feel like there could be a stronger connection or
with Seeds, yes.
Understanding that like you're part of the student section now, you can be involved. And then someone else said that it's kind of unfortunate that the conference is limiting these networking events to like 30 minutes. And yeah, that's really unfortunate. Like in the past, or at least in the past year, the student section has really been focused on planning this meeting and putting a lot of time and energy into it. I'd like to spread our time and energy out a little bit more throughout the year and have monthly or bi-monthly networking events for students. By self-discipline, by interest. We can do a bunch of different events shuffled. Every month or every 2 months, just to get to know other students. I've found connections with other students to be super important because you all kind of grow up together academically. You'll go off into different fields, and making those connections can be really fruitful later. So that's another thing I'm definitely interested in for next year.
Definitely, and we're definitely making use of that trivia platform we paid for because we didn't get to do that at the mixer because we didn't have a sign-up form. So I want to have a trivia night like every month or so. That'll be fun, and also we have a lot of questions we haven't used yet. So for the true trivia fans, just to pull them out and then get more questions. I think that'd be a fun way to network. Not everybody has to play trivia. We can just use the platform because it's more like clicking, so they can assign teams themselves. We don't necessarily need breakout rooms for that one. So everyone can chat in there, and definitely. And I believe in the Facebook group, a couple people asked if you were doing like other socials that they could participate in. I think that's a great idea. I'm not sure how we're gonna organize that yet because I am still working on getting our own, like our student section's own like Zoom access. So the unlimited one, so we don't get kicked off. So hopefully that I get that done, and then we can start hosting our socials and our webinars in a more broader fashion, so that we don't have to have you do the meeting every time, Callie. So let's. I'm definitely gonna get back on that and make sure that happens soon. And I agree with you. We need way more networking events because students want to connect with us, and that's something I learned from with all of the social media. I get questions and all the time from the Facebook groups. Whenever I post an event, they're like, "Oh, what else do you guys do?" Like I get so many questions, so I'm like, we need to have like spots where they can actually ask these questions and have them answered immediately. So I think that's a great idea. We could do more of these Facebook lives. I don't mind doing them and just sitting in front of the computer anyway a lot of the time. So we could just like open up chat rooms like every week or something like that. So that way we do have a place where we can all sit and talk about. I think that might be a good idea. Again, I am open to ideas. I try to make it as current and relevant as possible. And another thing is another main importance of mine is just to have resources for the diverse community that we serve, like international students, underrepresented minorities, dreamers. We have so much students in different situations, and we want to make sure we have resources for all of them. And that's something that's really important. I hope we can come up with a lot more collaborations. Like Callie said, I want to have a collaboration with the career, like the Central. So they are actually, now that I mentioned the Career Central, they are going to be posting our webinars on their platform. So everything's going to be live with them. So on the main ESA website, we don't have those up yet because they're still developing that site, but we are going to be part of that resource group. So that's something that we are super happy about, that John said that. But again, I really want us to work with the career section, the early career section, like you mentioned, so we can reach a lot more people because they have members that might not be in our little group, well, not little, we are the largest section there is, so we're not little, but like, we want to make sure we reach as many people as we can and collaborate with schools and like the seeds chapters. That's another thing I wanted to do. When someone mentioned seeds, I'm like, what about the seeds chapters? There's so many of them and we could reach a lot of them, and that's something I definitely want to do. And actually, I've already started. So tomorrow we're gonna have Selena Cortez coming in. She's a Seeds Per Fellow. All, I think, except I think even Mia used to be a Seeds student. So all of our student highlights for the lives are all Seeds, part of the Seeds family. So tomorrow Selena's gonna be talking about her research, and she's gonna be talking about how to start a Seeds chapter at your institution if you don't have one already. And that's something you should really come to and pay attention to, because that's something really important, because you get funding for field trips and it's super cool. And I was like, I thought I had one at my institution already, but I didn't. So I'm now reaching out to the Facebook group, to the club that's already there, to like get them affiliated with Seeds. So yeah, and again, this is a big community. We welcome suggestions, opinions, and stuff you want us to focus on. So please let us know. And, we take suggestions and we act on it. We have made a lot of changes in the past. We are a voice for you. So make sure you let us know what you want us to talk about, what you want us to focus on, and we will get right on it. I think Callie agrees with me on that one.
Yeah, and I think that's a good place to end unless you have anything else. Tomorrow, same time, Selena will be highlighting. It'll be awesome.
Mm-hmm.